I'm sure the House Intel committee is going to be very interested in that topic. But at the top of mind for people in Utah right now is the drought. The breaking news this afternoon is that the Biden administration has announced that water shortages along the Colorado River passed a threshold for the first time that will require unprecedented cuts for states in the region. As you know, the southwestern U.S. is facing the most extreme drought in 1,200 years, and the drying Salt Lake is causing significant issues for the surrounding ecosystem. What are Utah and other upper Colorado River Basin states prepared to sacrifice, given the call for basin-wide cuts of 2 to 4 million acre feet?
Sure. So that announcement today will have some serious impacts, of course, on especially on the lower basin states who have over allocated their proportion of the water. Many of the upper basin states, including Utah, we're under our allocation, but that doesn't matter that much when there isn't enough water to go around. So we know we were all going to have to make sacrifices. We've been working really hard on that here in the state of Utah since I took office last year. We introduced and passed 11, 12 pieces of legislation specifically around water conservation and reducing the amount of water that is being used in Utah per capita. Additional legislation around preserving the Great Salt Lake, which, as you mentioned, is at record lows right now. We're about a foot below the record we set in 1964. Certainly something we're deeply concerned about. We changed legislation that had been in place since Utah became a state, well over 100 years ago, impacting the way that I guess let me back up. Historically, in Utah and many other states, we had a use it or lose it mentality. If you're not using your water rights, then you could forfeit them, which gave an incentive for people to sometimes overwater. And certainly there was no incentive to leave water in the stream bed that would take it to a place like the Great Salt Lake. That was not considered a beneficial use. We changed that doctrine this past year in the state that allows farmers and ranchers and other water rights holders to keep their water in the stream bed without the potential for losing that. That's going to have a major impact on the Great Salt Lake. But more importantly, we've seen tremendous work around conservation. We've had some areas of the state that have seen a 25% water reduction rate usage by farmers, ranchers, citizens, homeowners. Everybody is cutting back. Companies, employers, everybody's doing their part, and it's actually working. So we're very proud of the work that has happened there, but we still have a long ways to go, and I will continue to work with the legislature. We put aside about $500 million this past year, which is a record amount of funding for water conservation, and we hope to do the same thing next year.